Hello, Yuval. Thanks very much for agreeing to spend time with us here at Cardplayer Lifestyle. I'm Robbie. I want to just congratulate you, first of all, on your 23rd place finish at the World Series.
Thank you very much.
I have a few questions for you. If you'd be kind enough to answer them. We're just really curious what it's like to go that deep in the main event.
It's really exciting. At the beginning of the tournament, I always knew I had it in me to make a deep run like that. I always thought, sometime in my career, I'd be able to do that, but you can't really expect it. And
Right.
it's every day. Just you try to make it to the next day, and when you're done playing for the day, it's just like so exciting. Every day you're like, wow, I can't believe it. I just made it through the fifth day, the sixth day.
Right.
I'm on to day seven, and actually, a couple of those nights it was like hard to sleep because I was just too excited, and
I
yeah,
can, o-
it's
I can only imagine. But you think it was mostly a function of skill, or you had your share of winning coin flips?
Um, I was actually never really all in or even had a coin flip or anything like that until like the end of the tournament. At the beginning of the tournament, actually during one of the first orbits of day one, I got it in with the king high straight versus the queen high straight.
Uh huh.
The guy was drawing dead, and then I got it in with a jack high straight, which was the nuts against aces. Another time, also drawing dead. There were a few coin
Nice.
flips, but I never had one for my stack. I had a coin flip ace king against fives. I think it was on day five. I had one tens versus ace king, but they were just for parts of my stack. I was never at risk.
Right, I hear that. Well, your Twitter feed says that you decided to play day C instead of 1A or 1B because you didn't sleep enough. I guess you managed to clear those cobwebs, huh?
Yeah, there was just there was a Bodog party that night and at the Palms before
All right,
before
you
the
used to
second.
be a team member of theirs?
I used to be on their team at the beginning of my career, but right now I'm not a team member of anybody.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But I'm just like friends with a lot of the guys from there and stuff. So they were just
Right.
having a party at the Palms, and so the next
Cool.
day, I was just planning on not playing the next day, and there wasn't really a specific reason like to play day C. Like before even day A of the main event, I just kind of told myself and everybody that I don't know what day I'm playing. Whatever day I kind of wake up and feel like playing, I'm gonna play. I never really had a plan, so I just
Uh-huh.
ended up, playing day C.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you, now that you have a 23rd place finish, maybe that gives you some extra exposure. If you could be sponsored by any organization, whether it's poker related or not, is there anyone who ideally you'd like to represent?
I mean, obviously, it would be great to have a deal from Poker Stars.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
I mean, that's the only company. That's really the only company I even know of. I mean, I've heard of other like small companies and stuff
Right.
like that, but Poker Stars is the only place I play, and I've kind of played there my whole career and stuff like that. And they're really, in my opinion, the only online company at the moment. So I don't
Right.
know.
Well, since Black Friday though, it hasn't really been possible to play online, especially as you're based out of the states. So how did you do it? Did you have a place abroad or something?
Yeah, I moved to Israel actually, and
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm gonna be there a lot of the time playing online poker and living on the beach.
Oh wow, awesome. Like Tel Aviv area?
Yep.
Very nice. Very cool. Um, so, I mean, everyone's played, everyone who's read our site and who's interested in poker, we all played long sessions, but what's it like to be in a tournament day after day for 12 hours for over a week? How can you even describe that?
It's just you got to keep reminding yourself to maintain focus and not make any big mistakes. And sometimes you kind of get tired at the end of the day, and you kind of just have to suck it up and make it through those long hours.
Right.
And you can't let it affect how you play. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's not really very physically tiring. It's you're just playing poker with your buddies, hanging out.
So you got to know a lot of people as the field shrunk a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal to go deep in the main event. So when we're, on starting day 5, it's getting down to be a pretty big deal to still be in the main event. You start, like, socializing with, everybody at the table. I mean, you got everybody's name and, people talk. I mean, that's how most of my tables were.
Right. So I mean, at this point, we're down to 9 players in the main event. So, you've played at the table with most of them. Who would you say is the most dangerous, or who would you pick to win it all?
I think if I had to pick somebody, I'd either pick probably that guy Greg, who won the...
Right. Greg Merson?
Yeah, he won the 5K, and he seems like he plays pretty well. I actually didn't play with him this tournament.
Uh-huh.
But just what I've heard, obviously has good results. Another guy that I think he could win is that guy Andreas, just because he's so kind of fearless, and I don't know, he's like the type of person who could make a mistake, but it ends up paying off type thing for a really big pot. I can see that happening with him.
Yeah, I read he made a couple missteps, but he really benefited from them.
Yeah, he just seems to be running really well, and he has no fear of getting it in, so he is gonna win a lot of pots probably without the best hand, and
right.
I don't know. I think he has a shot, but I don't think he's the best player left, but I think he has a chance also.
But he's the only non-American left. Do you think that plays to his advantage, or or the other way around?
Well, in my opinion, his table image is that he's kind of loose, aggressive, crazy European type image.
Right.
So it depends on how he plays. He could play in a way where it works to his advantage, and he could kind of tighten up a little bit, or kind of mix it up, play a little bit deceptively, and have that work to his advantage. Other times also it's not going to work to his advantage, and I can relate to it when you have that kind of image, and you're just trying to pick up a pot with kind of a decent hand. You're not really stealing, it folds you on the button, you have Jack 10, or maybe you're in the cutoff, you have King 7 suited or something, and you're open, and it's just you get called light a lot of times when other players got be able to take down the pot, and that spot. So that could happen to him also.
Right. Well, I guess you've been playing with the same people for so long, day after day. They just sort of they feel like they know your style already at that point. Yeah. So just to switch gears a sec, out of curiosity, I mean, this cash, you made almost $300,000. It's a huge chunk of change. It's your biggest cash ever by far, and I know you won a couple full tilt events back in '08. In retrospect, though, when the pay jumps get so high, when you get so close to the final table, do you wish, you entered day 7 with the 6th largest stack, almost 10 million. Do you wish you played any sort of differently at all to make it higher in the pay jumps?
I'm not concerned at all about making the pay jumps. I mean, my goal going into the day was, one hand at a time to make it to the final table. And, once I'm at the final table and I have a chance to win, that's when I could think about winning the tournament. I know I can't win it on day 7. And,
right.
But still, at the same time, I'm playing to win. And, there, as much as it's disappointing to get this deep and not make the final table, it's also probably just as disappointing to make the final table and not win.
Right, of course. Yeah, so it's we saw Sam Trickett. He finished second in the big drop. I've never seen someone so disappointed to win $10 million, I know what you're saying. The bracelet or nothing. So hopefully maybe next year.
Yeah. So I mean, I do have I regret the hand that I lost half my stack on. I don't think I played it bad. I mean, being results oriented, it was bad, but I think in most situations, most people would play it the same way, or maybe even more aggressively. I mean, there was a raise and a call, and I had pocket nines, and I called, and then somebody went all in out of the small blind for what was effectively half of my chips when I had about an average stack.
Right.
And to me, I was thinking to myself, like, I haven't gambled all tournament on a coin flip. And I was thinking, I'm in a coin flip here. That's what I'm thinking. Because he's doing that with so many hands. Like, he doesn't have to have 10 to bear to be doing that. He could easily have a smaller pair or, an ace or, suited pink cards because he was short stacked.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, it turned out to be a bad call. He had pocket tens. I ended up calling and losing.
It's just one of those situations you never really know until you see his cards, I guess.
Yeah, in a cash game, it's always a snap call in that spot. I think, like I said, I think probably most players would have called in my spot, but, now I regret it. If he had one of those other hands and I would have won, I would have been, really happy and thinking it's a great call. But, it's,
right.
you don't know what he has. You have to play it by the numbers kind of in certain situations where you don't have a read on the player on exactly what kind of hand they have. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, that's the only hand I really think I misplayed in the tournament.
It's not bad, all those days of play, just one hand. That's really not bad at all.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you basically moved back to Israel. If and when online poker gets legalized in the United States, do you see yourself moving back to Atlanta?
Not exactly sure what my plans are for the future as far as where I'm going to live.
Right. Well, that's fun. Life of a card player to travel the world, then, I guess.
Yeah. I think I'm leaning towards kind of continuing it the way it is right now, where I spend some time in Israel and I spend some time kind of with my family and stuff, and maybe play a few tournaments during the year and then go play the World Series, and that's
right.
basically my yearly schedule. So
Right. You have a lot of family in Israel?
I do, yeah. Most
Cool.
of my family is in Israel.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
There's so many of them. I mean, obviously my immediate family.
Right.
My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother.
Right. Well, I'm sure they're really proud of you. Did anyone can't come in to watch you play towards the end?
Not really. I mean, during the summer, I had some friends with me who watched me at a final table I was at. But at this time in the World Series, most people are gone because they're out of the tournament.
Right.
And I didn't have anybody playing specifically to watch or anything like that. So no, not really.
Maybe next time around when you make a big final table, you become a lot more of a known commodity as a result of your 23rd place finish. Let me just ask you one last question. Obviously you're born in Israel, you're fluent in Hebrew, and you say you're living there now. Live poker is currently not legal in Israel, but Israelis love to gamble. It's kind of a known thing. If you had the opportunity, to speak to the government ministries or something like that, how would you try convincing them to legalize it, or what kind of arguments would you make?
Are you talking about live poker or online poker?
Live poker.
I don't know if it necessarily should be legal in Israel because a lot of the laws in Israel are based on religion.
Right.
And in my opinion, from what I understand in Judaism, it doesn't say specifically in the Torah don't play poker, but some people would interpret that it's not a positive thing to do, so
right.
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say they should legalize it. It's a judgment call.
Right. Well, I guess there's always Vegas and Macau for that. Got to keep the Holy Land holy.
But I do think that there's nothing wrong with having a poker game at home.
Right.
Or
that's what I do.
having
It's awesome.
or even having like a poker club in Tel Aviv, somewhere people can go and have like a small casino there. I mean, I think we're at such a we're at a time where that would be, first of all, very lucrative for them, and also it would just be there's nothing wrong with it. People
right,
love
it'd be
that
fun.
stuff. But actually, like, it is kind of bad that, like, probably a lot of people who don't have money to lose will still gamble and lose their money.
Mm-hmm. Right, that happens everywhere,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
thing.
maybe they're trying to avoid that. And, I could understand arguments either way of whether they should or shouldn't allow there. But I think home games should definitely be, like, okay to do. But as far as, like, having a casino there, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been playing in home games for like 7-8 years, and that's the way to go. That's the majority of the poker audience, and that's how people learn. That's what, along with the moneymaker effect, that's what caused the poker boom. There's home poker games, everyone wants to give it a shot. Listen, Yuval, thank you very much for spending some time with us here at CardplayerLifestyle.com. And I learned that tomorrow's actually your birthday, so I want to wish you a Yom Huledet Sameach, a happy birthday.
Thanks a lot, man.
And thank you very much for doing the interview. We'll catch you at another time. Shalom.
Okay, להתראות.
Bye-bye.